How you going?
What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today? That's the strap line now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. We're going to talk about people being between a rock and a hard place. Now, that has to do with a person's loyalty. And so a situation could be where the husband or male partner could be between a rock and a hard place between his wife and his mother. And so what it means is that the wife has an issue with his mother and they've had a bit of an altercation of sorts. For example, I remember one where the daughter-in-law insisted that the mother had a whooping cough vaccination before she could see the baby that was going to be born in a hospital. And of course the mother, being of a different generation, didn't believe in vaccines for whooping cough. And so then the daughter said, well, then you can't see my child. Now,
and the husband goes,
so he, of course, he's got to be loyal to his wife because he's the one that he's married to and or in a relationship with. And so he feels strongly loyal to her and listens to her because she's got a very strong opinion about this. But his mother, he's also loyal to because it's his mother after all. And she's really hurt because she can't see the child. So you got a hurt mother and you got an upset wife.
That's tough.
You're telling me.
What do you do in that situation?
It's very hard to do, actually. And so what happens?
Whatever choice you make, you can upset somebody.
That's exactly right. That's why they call it you're between a rock and a hard place. And so, yeah, how do you negotiate that? It's very, very difficult. First of all, you've got to definitely go into empathic mode. So you've got to try and get the other person to understand where the other person is coming from and help them to try and understand where they're coming from. So
but the trouble is, then they're going to go, you're just taking their side. Like
you're spot on, Scottie.
Yeah.
That's right. And not only that, but what happens is that the one or the other will feel that the other one's being totally unreasonable. It's just a whooping cough vaccine. This is what's recommended nowadays because you don't want babies getting whooping cough. So that's the reasonable argument from the one side. But the other person goes, well, you know, we never had whooping cough vaccines. Who's heard of having whooping cough vaccines? And I've talked to this about with my peers and other mothers, and grandmothers haven't had to have a whooping cough vaccine.
In all my years, I've never...
That's exactly right. So the poor guy's in the middle. And, of course, his wife is really, like, insistent on this. Just no way. No one's going to touch my baby if they haven't had a whooping cough vaccine because I don't want my child to have whooping cough. So she's more or less thrown down the gauntlet. And so the mother then, who's definitely not going to get a whooping cough vaccine just because of it.
It's a stalemate.
It's a stalemate.
But the trouble is the mum doesn't get to see the baby then.
Yeah, but I mean, that's exactly right. And so you would say, okay, I'll just go to the doctor and get myself a whooping cough vaccine. The trouble is, though, if some people, when they do that, they feel like they're now giving in. And so it's not about the vaccine anymore. It's about principles that is, you know, the other person wants to do it. What I'm saying, it gets very, very complicated, actually. And if you've got two stubborn people and you're stuck in the middle.
So what do you do? Like, you can bring that empathetic, but that doesn't necessarily fix the problem because then they're going to say, you're taking their side. Like, how do you fix it?
You can't fix it. That's the problem. And that's what I've seen. Like, you can't fix it. The only thing you can do with that is you just got to ride it out and be as empathic towards one and the other as much as you can and try to ask the other person to be somewhat understanding of where the other person's coming from. All you can do is try and soften the whole thing and try and appeal. If you take a strong stand and get angry with one or the other, you'll do a lot of damage. All you can do is go into empathic mode and appeal mode.
Yeah.
And then, so in the long term...
And hope that both parties will kind of soften their stance a little bit in time.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, not want to go back to COVID, but you know, like a lot of people were not vaccinated, and some people are saying if you're not vaccinated, you can't visit us and stuff. But then over time, those stances definitely softened.
Yes, yes. But if you make very strong statements, or you throw down the gauntlet, well, I'm not going to see you anymore, or, you know, like any of that sort of strong...
It can fracture the relationship.
Yeah.
It becomes bigger than just about getting a whooping cough vaccine.
That's right. And so if you're in a situation where you're between a rock and a hard place, keep it soft as much as you can, a lot of empathy, and also appeal, but don't make any strong statements, and try not to throw down a gauntlet, and certainly don't start labeling people, you know, you're just da. Like, if you're in the rock and hard place, don't go down that path. You're the one that needs to stay cool, empathic, appealing. Try and drop the subject if it's, you know, if it's over and over again, and really maybe just talk about, look, you know, this is about loyalty. I feel loyal to you, my darling wife, but you need to understand I'm also loyal to my mother. She is my mother, and there's a sense of loyalty there. And so if you use the word loyalty and you try and get to the other people to understand, look, this is about loyalty.
And you can even say, I'm in a tough position here because
yes.
I love you, and you know, but I also love my mum.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. So that's the talk that you need to have, because you can't resolve it, but at least try and get them to understand where you are, the position that you're in this is very difficult. You can't resolve it, but appeal, empathy, always keep it soft. Don't get angry with one or the other.